guys.
Welcome back to Love from the Other Side. I'm Kanyiso.
I'm Tabiso.
Yes, so tell me, what do we have today? What are we discussing?
The other day,
Yes.
we were watching old pictures of us.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking to myself, oh, naive Tabi.
Yeah.
In the picture. So I'm like, I remember thinking, I wish someone had told me some of the things I only found out later about Varsity and the Varsity experience. So I thought maybe we should make this video.
Okay.
So these are the do's and don'ts of Varsity.
Okay. All right. I mean, it goes without saying. First of all, you go to Varsity for school.
Yeah.
And academics is like the first priority, and the second and the third, until maybe like priority number 10. And like there's very little that can actually compare to, that can compete with your academics.
Yeah.
So you just have to like go for it, knock it out the park, like study hard, actually study, like do all the things, the assignments, everything. Yeah. So I think that goes without saying. If you think that varsity's got to do with something other than academics, you're mistaken. Like, the quality of your grades matters.
It does. Getting
a golden key and a dean's list and an award, those things like really will boost you.
And try to have, I know when you're starting, like it's not easy, but try to have a clear vision of where you're going after that degree. Yeah. Because otherwise you're not just going through the motions, you're just going to class just to be in class. Yeah. Or sometimes you don't even see the point of going to class anymore. Yes. Because you don't have a bigger vision or any idea of what you're going to do after Varsity. So try to have a very clear idea.
That actually reminds me of a book I read. Yeah. I don't know which one it was. Sometimes this year I read quite a lot of books, so I can't remember which one. Yeah. But this guy, the author, he was talking about how your career can go all the way into your early 40s based off just the decisions you made in your 20s. Like your career can be pushed. For instance, like you studied hard, you got your degree, you got good grades, you got like awards and stuff. Yeah. And then you were headhunted by a great firm. Yeah. And automatically, because you worked for a good firm, you get another offer from another great firm because you come from a good firm. Then you move from one good firm to the next because on your CV you worked for other great firms. And you could even get all the way to 40 without ever having achieved anything like groundbreaking in your,
just based on where you were,
just based on your CV, because you had good grades there, and you were headhunted by this one, and this one took you, and this one, and you worked, and it's like you might never have changed the world, done something incredible, but you've already gone so far, and that was just off like the strength of just your college years, your varsity years. Yeah, I found that very, very interesting. So yes, that one will always be number one.
Number two for me is find a good church.
Okay.
Like a Bible preaching, proper, good church. Okay. And when you find that church, get involved. Like get involved in ministry, because that's probably where I met like one of the most awesome people in my life. Also where I met my husband. Yes. Yeah. Because we were in evangelism class. Yes. Yeah, that's where we met as well. So get involved. That's where I met my married friends as well. Like those are the people who support your marriage. Those are the people you get marriage advice from. Like you see each other grow, you see each other have babies, you see, like it's just like a good community. Yeah, that is very supportive, because in the world we live in, when you're married, people don't really even respect marriage these days. That's like they don't.
Yes. Yeah. It's interesting because like the Christian tax. Yeah. So this is the people who went to tax were all like Christians. We all kind of knew which churches like other people go to. And they are still close till this day. Like when you go to their Facebook and their Instagram,
they still meet each other.
There's people from that church and they're still tight. And people from those two and they're still tight. And they're all still like, and they support each other so much.
Also, it's harder making friends when you're older.
Yeah, older. So it kind of like gets harder. Yeah. Yes, which brings me to my point, which is
you feel very strongly about.
Very strong.
But okay.
Leave varsity with a person.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that you must be dating everyone in varsity so that you can come out with like a babe. That's not what I'm saying. Like, so point one is the academics come first, and then obviously, right? But sometimes we get so caught up in like I must, that you don't even want to be friendly.
Bruh! Like those ones who are like, I don't have time for boys. That was me.
You know, the one who won't even smile. You won't even smile and be like, you won't even smile.
Yeah.
You'll be like, yay, boys are a distraction.
Low key, I think if we didn't meet, I'd still be single.
You'd still be single?
I'd still be single.
I can see that. Kinda. Not really. Kinda. Maybe nothing wrong. They're friends who happen to be guys.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to date them or be hooking up with them. But, at least be like open to the possibility.
Why do you think it's so important to live
with a person? Because it's tough outside. Yay!
It really is.
It's tough outside.
It really is. Like once you're part of working class, it seems like what is that guy called? You're in the triangle of like home, work, church, home, work, church. And if you don't meet your person at church, where are you going to meet them?
I mean, I think there's two things to the whole dating thing. Like once you're like in the working world, right? There's the first thing of like, where do you meet a person? Because the office will tell you that it's not really don't really date people from the office. Okay, sure. So you have to meet them from outside, but where are you gonna meet them? And then comes the second thing, which is that the effects on social classism is different in varsity than it is in like
working class,
the adulting world.
Yeah.
Like in varsity, we may all come from varying social classes, but student life is still student life.
Yeah.
And so you're more open to each other on an emotional level and disregard the social construct.
Yeah.
Classes.
But when you start working, there's such a thing as like different income brackets, and it affects who you're willing to date, and there's just too many things, too many variables.
Like, you don't really trust people because they're like, okay, maybe she's into me because, and this is a real thing.
Yeah.
Women don't know this, but it's for real. Guys really want to be loved for who they are. It's not even a joke. It's for real. This thing, it's not a lie. Girls treat it like a myth. We know we need money to get the girl, but we want to be loved for me. It's the man's conundrum.
Okay.
I need the money to get the girl, but I want.
But do you think men care enough about that though?
Yes.
I don't think they care enough.
Men care
about being loved for their personality.
They only care about that. That is the thing that they care about the most. I promise it's number one on a man's scale. We will unpack these things and but yes, so dating outside is tough. I'd rather you just get it done. And for us to come up with like, I'm not saying like
or a friend zone.
Yes, there's that friend zone. The one where y'all haven't really done anything, but it's there. There's that zone. That one is fine. You can come out to that zone.
Yeah.
Come out with a healthy group of people who you know. Yeah, maybe they'll hit you up in the DMs one day. What I'm saying is that it's tough. It's tough. And like I see it happen especially in our fellow African brothers and sisters, our fellow black people. We are probably the biggest perpetrators of this.
Yeah.
Obviously, because we come from tough environments, come into school, you're the first to graduate, blah, blah, blah. You got to focus, all that sort of stuff, which is entirely true.
You can't afford to get distracted.
No distractions.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the person you meet when you're young, you have a different can be much more vulnerable to you than a person who you meet when you're older. I feel like older it becomes a bit of an interview.
Yeah, I've heard that where people like go on dates and they feel like they're being interviewed and it turns them off completely.
Yeah, it's now like we must have a checklist.
Yeah.
Okay, 5-year plan.
What do you do?
MBA. Okay. 3-year plan. All right. Okay. Kids. Okay. Check.
And we're not saying you must just like date as Khatamarukwana.
Yeah. What is Khatamarukwana? Like, why are you swearing at the people? If you are watching this and you're skellige or you're Khatamarukwana, then we're not trying to offend you.
We're not saying
this channel,
date those people.
We don't take skellige questions. I'm guessing it was Khatamarukwana.
I don't know what is skellige thing. Exactly. It's Khatamarukwana.
Exactly. Yes. Today's episode must be called Skellige. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Which brings me to my next point. As an introvert, may I speak to the introverts?
Okay.
Don't lock yourself in your room until the next vacation, like when it's time to go home, because you're probably going to do that at home anyway. Go out, meet people, meet friends, meet potential baes and husbands, and meet people. Because network, yes, because it's not.
The thing is, varsity networking is called having fun.
Yes,
but when you go older, it's now called networking. We've stopped having fun. It's done. Now we have to network.
Yes, it's like not only does it help you like professionally,
yes,
it helps you like, especially if you're going through the most, because like school can make you go through the most. Like you'll break out, you'll gain weight, you'll just, because your last test you didn't do so good, you'll just feel depressed. And if you're in your room locked up, you'll just have thoughts you're not supposed to be having. And you know, which leads to all sorts of things like mental breakdowns, and I don't know how many suicides like I heard about while we were at Tugs. But go out, meet people, talk about whatever you're going through. Don't just stay alone. Don't just stay in your room forever. Like I live for being, well, I no longer have my own room anymore.
I'm always there in your face.
I'm all for that. Like that's one of my favorite things, to like lock myself in my room and just be by myself and do the things I love the most. But you need to go out and see people, because no man is an island.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. All right. My point. Do stuff. Get involved in a thing. It can be a society. It can be your res. It can be whatever it is. But get involved in that thing and put some effort into it, and get into the habit of doing something that's extracurricular. In as much as like academics is number one, and must remain number one, it's also good to get into the habit of doing more. Because as I've later on discovered in life, so I've applied for a certain program more than once. Man, I still haven't been able to get in. Man, I want to get into that program so hard.
Yeah.
And when you fill in the form, there's a section about like, how are you changing the world? Like, you know what I mean? Like your academics suddenly don't matter. And all these, it's now like, charities, and in your associations, what associations are involved in.
You know what, like, and as an introvert, I'm gonna talk like as an introvert, I hate such things. I want to do as very little peopling as possible, which is really not great. Like it's if you want to get far, you can't like live your whole life avoiding people. You can try, and Vela, that's how we recharge as introverts. Like you want to be by yourself, but you do need to get involved in other things.
And I mean, the way the world is set up now, because there's so many people who have degrees already, and you know, everyone is kind of like already there academically. The things that really stand out are like your ability to your leadership skills, which are shown in these other, you know, and your passion, which is shown in all sorts of other extra things that you do. And Varsity is a good opportunity to get into the habit of doing those things. Because if you don't, then you get into like the working world, and you've never been that sort of person, you won't get involved. And that is the difference between a person who eventually makes it to partner or CEO and someone who like maxes out in middle management. It's those things that show initiative. So I think, get in. I mean, you'll be doing it simply to get into the habit of doing it. Don't do it to the extent that it distracts you from your academics. But just to simply...
Because they can be distracting.
It can be very, very distracting. But like, there's all these like really awesome like programs you can get to when you're young. And they need you to be like a person who's energetic and doing things, you know. Like,
but you can also get into courses where you don't have to be this hype person, but you have to care about the course.
But I mean, just like
have passion for it, but you don't have to. Not everyone needs to be like, you know, guys. So we're not all built that way.
I think everybody has at least one thing that they should care enough about to be like passionately involved. And the only thing that keeps you from being passionately involved about something is either like a lack of confidence in yourself to enter the space. Like you care, but you don't have confidence in yourself to enter the space, which is something that we saw a lot at Tux. Like remember, I mean, Tux is great because it's such a melting pot of people from different backgrounds, blah, blah. And you get guys who come from like, you know, public school system, and they were not like given enough confidence to do things that are apart from academics. And like these private school kids were just like boom, always getting the posts. Then there was always that one revolutionary. The one revolutionary was like, no, comrade, here I will be. You know what I mean? And just by sheer force of will, willed his way through. You know, like so it's like confidence sometimes. And like these Monayana things, because the stakes are so low in Varsity, that you can build confidence without it affecting your entire life. You know, whereas when you're a bit older, the stakes get so much higher. Yes.
Moving on, make use of the student services, like the counseling. Like most varsities, as far as I know, they offer like free counseling, right?
Yes.
So if you're going like through depression, whether it's about your academics, whether it's about relationships, like if you're going through a breakup, which is also one of the major things that can happen while you're in varsity, and it can completely derail you if you're going through a heartbreak. Or if you're going through like financial issues and some people get excluded, it's really not fair. Get financially excluded, some academically excluded, and maybe like probably facing that for the second, third time. I know people who've gone through that, and you really need to speak to a professional, you know, to like make sense of your feelings and make sense of what's going on, so that you don't, you know, become a danger to yourself. So make use of those services. Like they're there for a reason. The university spends a lot of money on those services, so make use of them because you paid for them.
Especially the gents.
Because
guys hate talking.
Guys don't talk.
We drink. We don't talk. We drink. When we're like having an emotional, like, hey, gents, you're going through a breakup. Okay, what's happening for you? There's a 6-pack, and then we drink. That's what guys do.
When it comes to breakups, guys usually have like delayed reaction.
Yes.
Which sometimes is like, compared to like the girlfriend, their reaction seems to be like out of this world.
Yes.
Like they're not proportional.
The analogy I always use, I always say that watching a man deal with a breakup is like watching a train do a U-turn. It's loud, it's unnatural, it's painful. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
That's what it's like. That's what it looks like. You literally see this man going like you can just see it now.
Yeah, I don't know how to process breakups.
Yeah, no, the worst. They're the worst. So yes, that was actually something I was going to bring up as well.
Yeah.
Which is the vice. Like if you're varsity, be careful of the vices. Sex, alcohol, drugs, that sort of thing. So all vices, to be honest, have long-term effects in your life. Whether it's the OD,
pregnancy.
I mean, yeah, in varsity we've seen very promising, talented people be lost to drugs, overdoses, and like addictions. Seen pregnancies, sexually transmitted diseases, alcoholism, like some people have become so lost within that end up suicide, stuff like that. Like, and not to mention, of course, another sexually transmitted emotions, and then too much chest. Now, all this, they know what I'm talking about. They know what I'm talking about. They get in the chest, and then now Mutu's confused, and then they can't even study anymore, bro. Bro, I can't even study anymore, bro. I just think about her all the time. Oh my gosh, like
that is a thing. It's a thing. I think like someone said, the psychologist, like we watch a lot from Kenya. He was saying, you shouldn't be dating before you're 25. Because before you're 25, like any form of dating, that person becomes like a drug to you. You become addicted. And I think I remember thinking, no man, there was a time I was dating and it felt unnatural.
Yes.
It felt like, because you do feel like that person is a drug to you, and that's usually not the healthiest way to be looking at a relationship.
It's true.
When that person is addictive. And it's probably in varsity you have the most dysfunctional of relationships. But it's great. When it's great, it's great.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But when it collapses, it's fantastic. It's awesome. It's like a fireworks display that is violent. And that is just amazing to watch. It's amazingly destructive to watch. It explodes. It's like wow, it's amazing. But you don't want to experience that. And it's funny you mentioned the whole like under 25 thing. And I guess we'll explore it. This is another video about like the right age to get married and that sort of stuff. It's true the human brain is not fully developed until 25. And so after the age of 25 is where you can better make a life decision. For a long time. So I mean, like, it does make a difference. Live with the person. Like, I can't reiterate that well enough. Live knowing something with a degree, knowing something, having achieved something, and I mean,
having a community.
Have a community and a person, and I think you'll be fine after that. So and if you don't do any of those things, it's still fine.
I think this video went on a bit long, but it's fine. So I know viewers, most of them are way past varsity. But if you have any advice for someone who's in varsity who might come across this, just drop your advice as well, because people need it. Because I know I needed to hear such advice when I was still in varsity. So be so kind as to advise the young people. Thank you so much for watching. And commenting and subscribing and liking and
everything. We'll do another video where we'll break down these. So like, share, subscribe, blah blah blah, and we will see you next time. Bye.